And there we are. We are live, family. Peace, peace. Grand gratitude rising.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace.
Peace, peace.
Peace, peace, family.
So how was everybody's week this week? Everybody had a good week?
Power pack. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
Energies was everywhere.
Yeah.
Energies everywhere.
Yeah, I don't got no complaints. It was a smooth week.
What about you?
Yeah, I had a pretty good week. I had to go to a funeral yesterday, but that's part of life. Yeah.
Okay. YouTube live.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah, I'm having a hard time keep my composure. I'm over here trying to figure out, man, we live. This is awesome.
So what's the subject for today?
Subject. Epic journeys.
Okay, there we go.
This journey we call life. I mean, that's a start anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? If y'all don't mind, especially you, Oracle, since it's Easter, since it's America's and most of the world's Easter today, Oracle shared a gem with me yesterday about Easter that I was kind of hoping she can share a little bit with the people if she don't mind tapping in, touching on it a little bit. Did you want to talk about that, Oracle?
Man. I don't know. And I only say that because, again, I shared with you the gem, so I feel like we all probably should have watched that so we could actually get an interpretation from each of us. And to get better understanding of where we were going with it, because, again, to bring that up on a day that everybody already has set in stone can kind of, turn them against what the messages we're actually trying to give at this moment. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's that old saying.
Well, I will say this to the listeners, and everybody else, definitely when you get a chance, take a minute to dive a little bit deeper into Easter and its original meaning. And I just want to say this: the information that I found out about it yesterday, I resonate with more as far as its original intent to my belief. Its original intent is it's kind of like the real New Year's celebration where we should be taking this day to not worry about no bunnies and Easter eggs and all that, but to release old habits and make room for a newer, improved version of yourself. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now you can take that information and dig into it, accept it, or do a little bit more research on it. But that's my new perspective on Easter. Be right back, family.
Yes.
I say.
I feel what you're saying though, Queen, because like we've said this before, pulling the rug out underneath people, you know what I mean, folks, while they're standing on it.
Yeah.
It's a slow process. It's much less painful for them. If you do it the way you said, like, you know what I mean, especially not on the day. Like, I totally get that.
Right. But I feel like we all probably should have watched it too, because it would have gave a broader outlook for each of our perspective off of it, because only me and kind of Jay Hooks watched it. So it would have been definitely a good topic if we all entertained it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For me, the thing is I was reading your comments and stuff like that, But when you look at the word Easter, then you look at the esoteric meaning behind it, and you look at the etymology in it, you see there's so many different translations and transliterations at the same time too. Because one of the things I try to get people to understand is we are in two totally different kingdoms at the same time, simultaneous
Mm,
parallel worlds, the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom. The Northern Kingdom celebrates its New Year springtime. This is their springtime now. This is the new year. This is the
Yeah.
energy of now. Where I'm at in the Southern Kingdom, our springtime doesn't come until September.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
You see? So you have two different kingdoms in operation at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people say, "Oh, this is our new year," yes, it's the new year for the Northern Kingdom. And when we come down here to Africa, to the north, to the Southern Kingdom, springtime doesn't begin until September. And so when you look at Easter, what the Queen, when the Queen talk about using it for its original intent in terms of the energy, the rebirth, the setting their intentions and stuff like that, this is where the entanglement came in. You understand? So they had their festivals and what the people call pagan festivals, and we had our festivals and stuff like that. And so what they do is intertwine two different festivals. So what you focus on is what you create. Where you put your energy is what you manifest. You understand? So many times we focus on the what you call it, logistics of something more than the spirit behind what it is, because that's what they wanted to distract you from the spiritual power that this time has and this time gives versus somebody die on a cross, somebody shed their blood, somebody give up their life for us. When we die daily to self, when we go to sleep, we're dead actually, you know. So yeah, so I believe that, like you said, you don't pull the rug up from underneath somebody, but we gotta also drop little nuggets to give them a little thirst, a little hunger to, hey, I want to go back, I want to learn more, I want to know more about this thing, the spirit behind Easter, more so than the bunnies, because bunnies don't lay
Ashe.
eggs.
Ashe.
I say. Right. The main thing you said about, two different kingdoms, like the northern and the southern, that makes sense. But like you said, the main thing is understanding that even that's kind of literal, because again, it's all about energy. And this experience that we have when it comes to all these religions that they gave us festivities for is really mainly for us to not sit still and tap within the God that's within us. So it really doesn't matter what
Yeah,
part of the
yeah,
area you are in. It's just, what are you doing with this day? Right? It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter that over there may not be
yeah.
springtime, but we know that this day is very powerful because of the energetic cord that's going around the whole universe, that's connected to us all, no matter what is shifting in the air, no matter what the weather is or what the season is. So it's just more so of us tapping into that source, into that energetic field at that moment, to, like Jay Hook said, recreate what we want for ourselves. Right? They keep us busy on these days. They keep us busy. They keep us in something else outside of ourselves. And that's the main thing. And that's where we're going left at. Every time we celebrate these festivities and we follow these fake holidays that they gave us, it takes us away from really sitting still and really manifesting and manipulating that energy to create the things that we want set for ourselves, and really to tap into God to be able to change that, let's say, weather system. Because yeah, it might be spring here and right now it's not spring for you, but you could bring spring into your atmosphere by just tapping into that energetic field, because that's just nothing but dark and lightness.
Yeah.
It's dark versus light, and it's always it's always spiritual. So it's like a
Mhm.
spiritual war going on right now. And if you're not sitting in to tap into the light, now you're creating for that next season the same dark times you already walked into before you actually knew that you had advantage to change it,
Ashe.
if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, well said, sis.
Yeah.
Well
And
said.
also, sis, you know what those holidays do is when you're performing those rituals and putting up the tree and you're doing all that stuff and Easter egg hunts and all that, you're performing the energy that's going to only enrich those who created the ritual.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Facts.
Yeah, because they know how to create the rituals so that they can harness get the maximum from the energy that is presented on that
Exactly.
particular day during that particular
Mhm.
ritual and stuff like
Yeah. And we fall into line every year, every time, because we don't truly understand
every
what
year.
is being done and how and what we can do about it, where it helps us more so than them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Facts.
That's
And it's it.
so that's why knowledge is knowledge is freedom,
Yeah.
liberation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Applied knowledge is
There
power.
you go. I just took the
Come on,
words right out
applied
my mouth.
knowledge,
You
Yeah, I was
gotta
finna
applied.
apply
say,
it.
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
applied knowledge,
Yeah.
applied,
applied
Applied
knowledge.
knowledge.
Because
applied
if you ain't
knowledge.
applying it, if
Yes.
you ain't applying it, then shit, what
Yeah.
you
It's
doing?
just information. If you want to apply it,
Yeah,
all you do is gathering information. That's
yeah.
it.
That's
Exactly.
it. That's it.
Exactly.
Applied information is power.
Applied information is knowledge, and not
Yeah.
and
Mm,
awesomeness.
yeah.
I was talking about the Bible to a friend, and I was just letting him know my interpretations because I've been diving into the Bible more and I've been getting more so of the spiritual interpretation outside of the literal. And he was getting a little angry. He like, well, I mean, that sounds good, but you can't just go telling everybody that what they read is not true because they can combust. They can combust. And I'm like, well, the truth hurts. But then I sat and I thought about it today, and it's like they could combust. Are they combusting when they found out that the medical field was full of lies, that they've been poisoning us with our water, poisoning our air? Did they combust when they realized that we were in an education system that was teaching us nothing that can lead us into God and lead us into source, lead us into creating and wanting our own reality for ourselves? Did they combust when they found out that everything that was put in front of them was to entrap them and sit them still so they wouldn't create and be their own person? I don't see nobody combusting by those things. So how can they combust by understanding that the Bible has more than one message, and it's up to you to, yes, get the literal, but also seek in to see what that literal is telling you spiritually.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to me, it came off as a trap because to say that is like, to be honest, like my perspective, and it's just my perspective, what I got. A lot of people want to sit in the literal understanding of the Bible because they don't take accountability. They can't face accountability because they always seeking that somebody's going to save them no matter what they're doing. And that's where they're going left at.
Yeah.
You won't take accountability. You won't say sorry or forgive yourself, but no matter what you do, you think, oh well, Jesus gonna forgive me. No, what about you? Because you're still recreating and creating that same darkness every time, but you just saying, I'm gonna sit in prayer and ask Jesus to forgive me and I'm gonna go on. No.
Right.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't want to know the truth because you
Always
don't want
looking
to wake up
outside
to
of self.
reality that it's you creating and causing the things and the trials and tribulations you're going through.
Facts. I always tell people that your thoughts affect reality.
Yeah.
Your thoughts affect reality, period.
Yeah.
Whether
And your
you believe
intention,
it or not.
and your intention as well. It's your intention.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Intentions.
Because you
Yeah.
can have a good intention for something, and somebody else can view that as a bad intention. But you got in your heart, you got a good intention, but somebody else is sitting back here saying it's a bad intention or it's a bad idea. When actually in your heart, it's all good.
Exactly.
So which one is it? Who's right? Who's wrong?
In your world, you're right because, like you said, in your world, you're moving from your heart, and that's why I say God knows your heart.
Right.
So
right.
you're right. So that person that's thinking it's bad, they have to check their heart.
Yes. Yeah. Facts. I guess that's all a part of spiritual growth.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. The growth and maturity too. Growth and spiritual growth and maturity, because we could grow, but if you're maturing in it, you understand? It's like you have a 60-year-old man, but if he ain't matured in his age, he's still a 60-year-old boy because he grow, but he's still immature.
Facts. That was deep, sis. That was deep.
Yeah, we got to be able to come and let us sit down and reason together. Let me hear you out here, what you're saying, not hearing you to respond, but hearing you to understand, not even say understand, understand what it is you're saying and sharing with me. Too many times people are listening to what you're saying so they can hurry up and respond to what you're saying rather than to understand what it is you're saying. And that's the dogma of religion there again.
Sometimes dogma even spills over into relationships because some people that are so used to
Yes.
being in messed up relationships or being in messed up, they're not really used to dealing with authentic people. They don't know how to deal. They don't know how to deal with authentic people in an authentic way. They seem to resort back to whatever they used to be.
Yeah.
They don't know how to they don't know how to move forward with
Yep.
this authenticity. But it's very important because I always tell
No.
people authenticity is the new currency.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not walking around in authenticity, you walking around in poverty because you're trying to be something you're not.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. Wearing a mask that don't fit you.
Yeah, it ain't gonna never fit.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna never fit.
Yeah. And then you wondering why you feel this void inside because you're not being in the forefront of who you truly are. So now that void is telling you that something's missing when it's really you that's missing.
Yep, facts.
Yep. Be true to yourself. To thine own self be true to thyself.
And that's one thing Bobby always used to
Yeah.
say, man. I never forget. Bobby always used to say, if your heart ain't in it, then it ain't you ain't what that's you hear people say all the time, oh, his heart wasn't in it. So that's why he didn't do so well. But when you put your
Yep.
heart into something, you're gonna put everything into it.
Exactly.
So and that's what I do. When I put my
Everything.
heart into something, I put everything into it. Do I make mistakes? Yeah, I do, like everybody else. But oh well, I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna stay stuck there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it moving.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we say mistakes, that's just another way, another avenue of learning something, what to do and what not to do.
Mm,
Or not, you understand? It's a learning experience. Everything you do is a
it
learning
is. It
experience.
is. It really is.
But if we're open to it, if we're open to see it as a learning experience rather than shutting everything down and
Yeah.
shutting everyone down because they're
For
not
your
coming from
perspective.
your perspective,
Yes.
from your
Yes.
view.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Big fact.
Facts. And that's why I really enjoy conversating with this monk I've been conversating with, because him and I are from two totally different perspectives on the spectrum, but at the same time we could come together and share ideas and share science. You know what I'm saying? And not walk away angry at each other. And be
Exactly.
looking forward to the next time we can come together and share some knowledge again. Yeah,
That's
shit, whether we
maturity.
agree or
That's
not, it don't
maturity.
matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We sharing knowledge.
You learn something from him, and you
Exactly.
learn something from you.
Exactly.
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 We say that's an exchange. That's a
Change.
currency
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
exchange.
Yeah.
That's a high vibe tribe exchange. Right.
There it is right there. There it is right
For
there.
real.
Yeah. That's it right there.
Yeah.
That's definitely a high vibe exchange.
Yeah.
And it's the understanding of knowing how to wear two hats. You have to be the teacher and the student sometimes. You can't
Yep.
always,
Yeah. Man, come on now. Come on. Come on.
Yep. And you know I'm now finally learning that, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now finally starting to learn that. You know what I'm
Listen.
saying? But I'm learning though. That's the main
That's
point.
all
I'm
that
learning.
matter. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because some people ain't even look to see that was something they needed to learn or tap into or even
Mhm.
realize. So many people sat in their ways. They don't see no wrong on what they do and what they say, and they think their word is bond.
Right.
And they did no research to what they bonding as they went.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And that's why the high vibe tribe is so important. See, I understand that this tribe is more important than me. It's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? When we come together, we make something that we create something that's never been created before.
Yeah.
It's bigger than me.
It's a
I'll tell you
symphony.
straight up. I'm a
Every
student.
instrument is needed
Yeah, I'm a student of
in
the
the
high vibe
in,
tribe. I'm telling you, I'm a student too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all are. Because we all learning from each other, and then we're all able to teach each other something. So again, we're both.
yes.
We know how to put on and take off those hats.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like the saying goes, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
There you go.
Man, I was just about to say the same thing. Wow.
That shows you great minds think alike.
Yeah.
When the student is ready, the teacher shows up. And trust
That's
me,
right.
every week the teacher
Yep.
and the students show up
That's
all
right.
together.
All together. Yep. Facts.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, as I said, my family, I truly appreciate love this family because every
Mm.
time we come together, there's something um deposit and something withdrawn.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm.
ain't it
Mm.
isn't one
Mm.
street. It's never a one-way street. Just deposit, deposit, it's deposit and withdrawal going. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Absolutely.
Facts. Yeah.
Oh,
And sometimes we never know who's listening and whose life could be touched by this stuff.
Right.
Right.
yeah.
You just never know. You just
Right.
especially on a platform like YouTube that
Yeah.
goes around the globe.
And we on Twitch too.
Yeah, and we on Twitch too. So I mean, yeah, man. Yeah. You
Yeah.
I'm
never
so
know.
excited, man. That's why I ain't really been speaking. I'm over here checking all the channels and everything. I'm checking all the technical stuff. And I'm just like, wow, this has been a long time coming.
What
though.
happened to Jay Hooks? He got kicked out?
Yeah, he said he about to reattempt again.
Okay.
But that was basically the whole creation of the High Vibe Tribe. It was just to reach those that are seeking someone that's looking for an ear, looking to know that they're not alone in the thoughts that they having or the experience or this journey that they're tapping into, that they're walking into, knowing that it's other people that's growing and that we're all transforming spiritually and that you have someone that you can relate to and we're here to be relatable. And if you need us, we here. If you need
Right.
an understanding or an aspect of something else, that's our job. That's where our job came in, to just tap in and show you we have that mindset too. We have that aspect too. That perspective you're coming up with, we have that too. You know, you're not crazy. You're not alone. No, you're walking right into your purpose. Come on with us.
Right.
We all gonna walk
Yeah.
together.
That's right. Facts.
Let
Go
us,
ahead,
let
sis.
us,
Ashe.
let us
Yes.
all evolve.
Ashe.
Let us all evolve together.
That's
Yes.
right. Ashe.
Yeah.
Ashe.
And for every ear that's listening that resonate, they also become part of that High Vibe Tribe. Because
That's
if you
right.
connect with us, that makes you part of this particle, part of this creation, part of this message that we're sending. You know. So yeah.
Yeah, because it's it's a lot of youngsters out here, man, just going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was at a funeral yesterday. This young brother was only 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a lot of them doing they going the wrong way, man. And that's why it's so important for this, what we doing. And yesterday I saw how important this was yesterday. I saw a lot of young men out here still lost. I saw a lot of young sisters out here still lost. You know what I'm saying? If they just happen to run across this High Vibe Tribe thing, I believe it can help them. I really do. I believe that in my heart.
Yes.
Because we got 5 of us, and all of us offer something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got Spec, you know what I'm saying? Spec the Gadget over there. You know what I'm saying? Queen Oracle, Dr. Sublime, J Hook. We all offer something. We all bring something different to bring one great product or one great vision, or one great. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but I just know when
one great village, one great community.
Yeah. I just know when we come together, something great happens. I just know that. When we all come together,
One
something
great atomic bomb.
Yeah. That's gonna change the world. It's gonna change the world. You know what I'm saying? Sunday
I
at a
remember
time.
there was one Sunday at a time. There used to be this cartoon back in the day called Pinky and the Brain. And you always ask Brain, what are you gonna do today? Well, same thing I do every day, total world domination. So what does the High Tribe do every day? We vibrate high that
That's
others
right.
will come alive.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Others will come alive.
We vibrate high. We vibrate higher than anything in the cosmos.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
As we understand we are all things, and all things are us at the same time too. We are connected,
Mhm.
whether we reside Kenya or Maine or Atlanta or Georgia or Spain, wherever we are, we're
Mhm.
still recognize and understand that we are all connected some
That's
way,
right.
some shape,
That.
form.
Yep. Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. But anyway, on the subatomic level, we're all connected anyway. Just we manifest here as individuals, but on the subatomic level, we're all connected anyway.
Facts, facts.
We just
Oh
manifest.
yeah.
We manifest as individuals.
Yeah. I also feel like, me, when I heard you say, a lot of brothers and sisters are lost, I think we should dibble a little deeper into that. Understand it's not that they're lost, they are mentally under mind control.
Yeah.
Like a lot
Yep.
of them don't
Yep.
understand that they have their own mind and don't understand that's what's being presented to them every day as somebody else's mind to keep them
That's
out
right.
of theirs.
Yes.
That's right.
Right?
Facts. Facts.
Right.
Facts. Yep.
Yeah,
And then
so what we
and
see is their production. We see what they're watching. We see what they're entertaining. When you look at
yeah.
these folks, you see what's entertaining them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Like you said.
so
Yep.
they're still in a psychosis. You
Yep.
Exactly.
see?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're all connected and everything is connected, like you can find traces of every element and every substance on earth and in us and also in everything else, and everything comes from source. Why is it so hard to believe that you are source, that you are part of source? Why is it so difficult for people to believe that they are
Exactly.
goddesses?
Exactly.
You say peace God to somebody and they're like, oh, you on that God body stuff. I ain't. It's like, is it so far fetched? You came
Right.
from where'd you come from? Who
Mm-hmm.
made you? Oh, God made you. Okay, so that means you have some essence. If we're going by the book, didn't they say in the book that the angel breathed God's breath of life into Adam? So you have some of that essence. Why are you not a part? You know what I mean? It's just
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's amazing how we can just dismiss something without further thinking into it and going inward a little bit. Everybody's worried about left, right, up, down, diagonal, side to side. What about in and out?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we breathe in and out.
Yeah, facts, God. And you know what I realized too about I think Jay Hooks had asked this question a while back about he be hearing people talk about what's the work people be talking about. And what I think the work is the work is an inner work. Is are your inner workings working? Not what's outside working. Is your inner workings working? That's the work. To make your inner world work. And make your inner world
Mhm.
more powerful than your outer world. That's the work.
Exactly.
Facts. Facts.
Because your inner world is playing on the exterior. And again, that's why I
Yes.
said when you look at people, you can see what's entertaining them.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when it comes to God, that's not part of their programming. Remember, you have followers and you have leaders, right? Those that
Mm-hmm.
are raising their vibration are leaders. Those that
Mm-hmm.
are stuck in a vibration that was given to them and the beliefs that were given to them and the words that were preached over them and the sayings that they have to follow, they are who they are.
That's right. That's right.
So again, knowing that each of us, just the five of us, we're all in different parts of the world. But I do know for certain everybody that each of us come in contact with, we shift their energy. It's something
Yep.
about us
Yep.
being in their presence that shifts the
Yep.
atmosphere when we're
100%.
around them. Now we
Yep.
can't shift a whole world because we're not around the whole world,
That's right.
Right.
right?
Facts.
But just me
Facts.
saying that just shows the change that you being that change can set
Yep.
change in all those that are and able to
Around you.
access you.
Yes. That's facts. I've experienced
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
experienced that, Queen. I know you telling the truth.
Yes. I experience it every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Mm-hmm. I
Remember,
know
it's
that.
just like I was saying a couple of weeks ago that I
Mhm.
genuinely believe that that's why we are so spread out across the world right now. All of us that's on this type of time, As much as
Yeah.
we are all like to be around each other, right now,
Mhm.
I believe it's gonna happen, but just
Yeah.
not yet. We all
Not
met.
yet.
To,
Yeah.
we all met
Yep.
to shed that little individual light on people, what the
Mhm.
areas that we in.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna happen because it already happened in Atlanta. You know, it was at
Yup.
least, I ain't even gonna say half. It was 60% of us there. So
Mhm.
you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
that's a good number. You know,
Mhm.
that's passing grade, ain't it?
Yep. 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 Mhm.
You know what I mean? All you needed was a C to pass.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
we definitely gonna get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those type of conferences and things is necessary too, because just look at how excited everybody be to be around each other, how everybody don't be want to leave from that. So I think
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
necessary push to show, like, because I promise you, to this day, I still look at that as like that was heaven on earth, because it was just
Mhm.
all
Yep.
peace, it was
Yep.
all love, it was just
Yep.
I
Yep.
didn't have to worry about the next person at all. So that's
Mhm.
what, to me, that's what heaven would look like, you know. So
Mhm.
we all
Mhm.
needed to see that, and for those of us
Mhm.
that was there, we needed to be there so we can spread the message to other people. Like, hey, this is
Mhm.
what it looks like. This is what it feels like. This is what
Right.
we need to
Mhm.
do. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Left my
That's
wallet on the car. Nobody touched it. You understand?
yep,
Right.
yep.
That's it.
And I was the one telling Spec to hurry up, get his wallet off the car. I was like,
Right.
Spec, get your wallet off that car. Because we was way on the other side of the parking lot. And this nigga got his phone on the car. I mean, his wallet on the car. I was like, Spec, no.
I knew that energy was powerful, man.
Yeah.
Man, they would have to like if anybody mess with you, you take your spiritual bath. That listen, man, Captain Planet was hovering over that whole entire
Event.
radius. I don't know how big it was, but
Yeah.
everywhere we had a blanket, umbrella or something. We were standing underneath the captain's umbrella. You understand me?
Yeah. But Hooks, I heard you say that's what heaven looked like. I want to say something on that. No, that's what heaven is. Right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
gotta stop. I only want to say that because heaven is not nowhere we gotta get to. Heaven is what we create right here, right now.
Yeah, that's right.
God is a
sis.
God of the living. God is
Teach.
not a God of
Come
the
on,
dead.
come
He
on,
is
Teach,
a
teach,
God of
sis.
the living. You
Teach,
have to
sis.
live to
Right.
get to
All
heaven. You're
right.
not
on,
dying to
yes.
All
go
right.
nowhere.
Teach,
Come
sis.
on with it. Come
Right?
on with
All
it.
right. Like
Right?
Jesus said, heaven is all around you.
Listen.
He
Yes.
said it. Jesus said that. Heaven is all
Listen.
around you. You just can't
Yes.
see it. You just
Yes.
can't
Mhm.
see it.
So y'all wasn't definitely in heaven that day.
Yeah.
Y'all was. That is
Yeah,
what heaven
definitely.
is. Peace,
Yeah,
love,
it is.
Right.
It is.
togetherness, unity,
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
respect,
Yes.
Right.
Yep. That's
Even
right.
authenticity.
Yes.
even the
You know what I'm
food was
saying?
heaven, y'all.
Yeah.
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 Straight up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
man.
and I
Definitely
try
got
to
to
say
shout
that a
out.
lot to people. We're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You have to create it. Because
Mm-hmm.
I had this question. If everybody waiting to die to get to heaven, how you think it's going to look when we get there? We're going the same way we left.
Mm.
Okay.
Exactly.
Mm. It's gonna look horrible.
It's going to look like the world we living in right now.
Now, yeah,
Right.
horrible,
Yeah.
which looks horrible.
Right. You're right. But nobody thought about that. Everybody want to go to heaven. Everybody fear dying, but everybody want to go to heaven. But yet nothing about you is changing, growing. You're not trying to
Right.
integrate
Right.
nothing new. So we all was this whole world was to die and go to heaven. What would be different?
I know nothing.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
That's
Wow.
why they watch the psychosis. They teach us we gotta die to go to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
But for them,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
they create their heaven on earth. They're creating their heaven now. They're enjoying everything, trying being the creator
And
of
using
their
our
life.
energy to do it.
Yep.
Okay. So now, why we don't reverse it, or I should not say even just reverse it, take it back in terms of now, guess what? Every day I'm living a bit of heaven now. I'm living in heaven now.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I say.
You know.
So, okay. I got a very good question for the tribe. especially for
Yeah.
anybody that tune into this. What would y'all say? Because I even feel like this myself. It's like it's easy to say, all right, my mind is somewhere else, but my reality is not what I want it to be. What would y'all say to people that's like, man, I don't want to hear that positive stuff, man. I got to get up and I got to go work this job I hate right now. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I hate my job. You know. So what would y'all say to that, to creating heaven on earth right now when your circumstances don't really align with that?
Change your mindset. Change
I
your
would,
Yeah, yeah,
mindset.
there, yeah, yeah.
It's a mind
honestly,
change.
I would say,
Mm.
thank you, sir. Have a good day, or okay, man, have a good day.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
especially if they come off like that, I'm gonna be wasting my time.
Right.
You know what I mean? If they're not
Right.
receptive to the point where it's like, interesting, and they just say, I don't want to hear that crap. Right? Okay, you have a good day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's funny though, because I had this dude on this guy on my on the book study I have every Sunday. He said that and he conscious. He said, Mike, man, it's hard because we study in this book how to become supernatural. And
Mhm.
he said, he's like, Mike, man, it's hard for me to believe this shit because I bust my ass every day.
See
That's
what
what
I'm
he
saying?
said.
Perfect
Yeah, he said,
example. Yep.
perfect example. But this dude conscious though.
Right.
So I'm thinking, is he really conscious?
Mm.
Because he asked the question, he said, because I bust my ass every day. I said, look, yo, I used to bust my ass every day too, but I don't bust my ass every day no more. I said, you know why I don't bust my ass every day? Because I meditated for damn near 20 fucking years. And I studied and I researched and I applied knowledge. I applied different sciences. I really, I did it with my heart. I ain't just do it for people to talk to people and tell them I was doing it. I was doing it from my heart. And
Right.
that's how my life changed.
Mm.
So I said, you got to have your heart got to be in this shit.
Right.
You
I
can't be
want
Mhm.
faking
Yeah.
it. You can't be superficial with this shit.
right. I
You
want
know
to.
what
I
I'm
want to
saying?
piggyback off you
You
a
know,
little
fake it
bit,
till you make
serious.
it.
Yeah, you just buying all these books just to show people you got books. No, read them fucking books.
Right.
Excuse me.
I want to piggyback
I don't
off
know
you a
what.
little bit too, serious. You know, the fact that you said, you know, you got to really apply it and start working these new different systems and stuff. Like that's when I realized I didn't have to bust my ass every day. You know, I sat on my ass. Yes, I was in front of the computer, and yes, I was still actively taking the steps that I needed to take. But it wasn't work like when I worked on construction, when I worked the phone job, in any of them jobs, when I was working at the fish joint. It was nothing like that. And I pulled more money out of the system sitting on my ass using my brain than I did using my body. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, no, you right, brother.
Y'all, I don't know if we can curse on YouTube.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I
My
think it's the first minute you can't.
Oh, okay, because I know
Oh.
they was taking people videos down. So.
It's only within the first minute or so. Or something
Okay,
like that.
okay. But, I wanted to speak.
They better let us. They better let us cuss, because if I cut on a rap video right now, you ain't gonna hit nothing but
And
that.
and and,
You know,
and
the
brother
message
Rich
being
be
pushed is
cussing.
different. You know, so you know.
Brother Rich be cussing
Exactly.
all the time.
Oh,
Right.
okay. I know they was
Yeah.
taking down people video for certain things, but I wanted to
Yes.
speak on what Jay Hook said
Mm-hmm.
about a person's narrative or their perspective of things not working, and it's crazy because Alchemist, you said it, Spec, you said it. They put in their heart into depression. They're putting their heart into feeling like nothing is good enough. They're putting their heart into feeling like nothing can change.
Yeah.
That's the highest vibration of energy right there.
Yes.
So until you change your heart, and like you said, Dr. Sublime, your mind, then of course nothing around you will recreate itself because you already put enough energy of it to keep it there and stay the same.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
That heart is very strong and powerful. What they say,
Yes.
it has to be in your heart. So if
That's
it's in
right.
your heart that nothing's going right, it's in your heart that I'm busting my behind to do this.
Yeah.
It's in your heart that nothing is getting better. Then why would it? You believe
Right.
in that
Exactly.
strongly. You put a lot
Exactly.
of
You put a lot of
energy into that
energy in
belief.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
buddy. Exactly. Take that energy
And
back.
Yeah.
Take your energy back.
Yes.
Take it back.
and watch this. And watch this too. Your words. Your words is power. Yo, you are bound by the words that you speak over yourself, over somebody else. You understand? So they are bound by the words that they're speaking also. And so until we change the way we speak and the way we see ourselves and the way we see going on these various just over broke places and stuff like that, we would continue to be on the subliminal hamster wheel, going in circle and being tired and being fed up and being angry and being bitter because we're seeing outside of ourselves. We come back with a savior complex. We're looking for somebody to come and save us, somebody to come change our life, somebody else to come and change our situation, circumstances. But until we go within, even when we go back, we use the scripture that they give us. The scripture said the kingdom is
Yes, it is.
within. So is a man think it.
Absolutely.
So is he. When we declare out of our mouth, we
Yeah.
establish.
Yep.
So we got to change our thinking. We got to change what we speak out of our mouth, and we have to. So and even in scripting, what we write down. They say talk about a 3/4 chord. That's a 3/4 chord right there. What we think, what we speak, what we write. And a lot of times they tired of busting their chops and busting their digging on this job and stuff like that. But that's the job that would made itself available for you because that's the job that you went and applied for.
Exactly.
But you haven't applied yourself you haven't applied yourself to yourself. You haven't opened up yourself to yourself. What am I capable of doing? What brings me joy in doing something?
What they say, what you don't change, you're choosing. So they're choosing to complain because they don't want to change. You're choosing to bust your butt because you don't want to change. You're choosing to keep yourself in that low vibrational state because you fear change, right? And that's a low vibrational state to be in. That now other things can attach itself to you, keeping you stagnant.
Exactly.
Your mindset based on what you created. Because now you don't see nothing past that because your vibration is so low, it can't even get to nothing higher than that.
Right.
Nope.
That's my sister. Preach.
And hence, that's why we have the high vibe tribe.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So we can teach people how to vibe high. You know what I'm saying?
And learn how to vibe higher.
Yeah. Just like the eagle does when the crow start messing with it.
That's right.
He just rises higher. And
that's the thing. And watch this. Even with the eagle doesn't allow the storm to stop him. He used the winds of the storm to elevate him
above the
and then
storm.
he decides to fly above. And then he decides to fly above the storm.
Yes.
And the thing is this: we're not telling anybody something that we ourselves have not tried, tested, and conquered or conquering.
Yes.
You understand? So what we're telling you, what we're telling our listening audience is, listen, what the high vibe tribe is telling you is something that they themselves have faced, have conquered, and is conquering.
Ashe.
Yes. We are showing you that anything is possible because we have been through it all.
That's right. That's right.
Change of mind.
And I'm going through it right now myself. I don't want to do what I'm doing to make money right now, but to ask everything y'all saying, like the way I look at it, the way I get through it is, I need to learn something from this right now. So, for example, with trucking, I think that the reason that I'm still a trucker right now is because it's teaching me patience. So that's what keeps me going. That's the lesson that I'm learning from it, and that's what that's what changed my perspective of it. From I can't stand doing this. I have to learn patience. I have to learn. I have to do a lot of problem solving. You know what I'm saying? So these is all tools, necessary tools that could help in a future colony or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, God. Definitely.
It's like the Mr. Miyagi, the Karate Kid. I think we talked about this before on the tribe too, where he had him mopping. He like, man, I just want to learn how to fight, but that learning how to mop got him prepared for what he needed to do in combat. See what I'm saying?
I think Spec brought that up one time.
Yeah.
But I think another thing is being willing to take a risk on yourself. We take a lot of risk on everything else, but we won't take a risk on
Risk on our
ourselves.
set. That's right.
And
That's
one
right.
thing I can tell you is my world and what has been going on for me, because when I lost my job, I said F working. That's what, like, I ain't got, you know what? And I had a lawsuit. I thought it was going to work, but at the same token of me waiting patiently for that lawsuit, I ain't look for no other jobs. I just started tapping into myself, tapping into spirituality, tapping into it so much that when that lawsuit didn't go through, it didn't make me want to rush and go back to work. I said, well, listen. I started talking to God. I know I ain't signed up to be this, so show me what I'm supposed to be doing, because I don't want to work for nobody else. And when I tell you, I've been blessed. Like, I've been blessed. I've been blessed. I've been blessed.
Yeah, I could hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
I can hear it the way you said it. I've been blessed. I can hear
Yeah,
it.
like, it's about believing in yourself, knowing that, knowing what your worth is, and knowing what you deserve, and really having that faith and not giving up.
Yeah. And see, nobody never taught us that. Nobody never taught us that growing up.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We had to learn that the hard way. So
Yeah.
we here so we can help other people learn it a little easier. They might not have to go through the bumps and bruises we went through.
Yeah.
They might not have to go get locked in jail cells like we did. They may not have to go, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You know, we might be able to stop some of them from even experiencing any of that nonsense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But you know, I want to say this too, though, because I don't want to say, because I did just say how blessed I've been, but I also want to say that I've always had my priorities together, right? I never superseded my wants for my needs, right? So when I lost my job, I don't want to just say I was blessed, because I had a nice, hefty savings, because I knew how to save my money and, again, do the things I needed to do, not what I wanted to do all the time. It's not to say I enjoyed life, because I did. I enjoyed life. But I had kids, so I know I had to have something to lay on, because you never know when the time to the hour is going to switch up or change for you. So you always have to be prepared.
That's right.
So I want to say that I was prepared. I wasn't trying to fit in with the Joneses. I wasn't trying to go out and party every day just because I'm getting a phone call to go out and party every day. I picked my own battles. I picked my own entertainment. I didn't let others speak for me.
Right. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I never let the left hand know what the right hand was doing. It's a lot with that. It's a lot with that. It's your priorities. It's what you pick more important than the others. And again, I'm a mother too, a single mother. So my priorities was always my kids, because I know I couldn't depend on nobody but me.
And you know how many sisters out here probably needed to hear that, Queen?
Yeah.
It's a lot of sisters probably need to hear that.
I was just thinking that, bro.
That's powerful. Yeah. That's real powerful what you just said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just that's a whole lesson within itself, honestly, because a lot of people don't have that strength or even that mindset, you know, to think like that.
Yeah. But to add to what you said too, sis, you know, I was thinking of that when I was at my crossroads. You know, it was years ago, but I know, you know what I'm saying, without a shadow of a doubt, if I had any of the guidance I have now, I would have chose a different path. You know, I had options. I just chose otherwise because of my indoctrination and my programming. So somebody like Sirius or Queen Oracle Empress, you know what I'm saying, Dr. Sublime or J Hooks, or even Charleston White, that would have, any of that stuff would have just made me think a little bit differently, and I would have at least attempted and would have started gravitating towards different habits, towards different things. Even though I say, you know, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, I would have still attempted something other than what I was already doing. But there was nothing. It was just silence. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm just going to do this, because I didn't even think to look for any other options. And that's that programming.
Right.
Yep.
That's also not being authentic. And that's one thing I could say too. I've always been authentic.
Yeah.
I've never tried to fit into a crowd. I tried to make one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so when you're trying to make a crowd and you moving in your own accordance, things gonna work out different for you anyway, because you already surrounding yourself with your own energy opposed to surrounding yourself with a group of energies.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I had to learn that the hard way, because when I was younger, I did used to try to fit in with other folks. You know what I'm saying?
All did, yeah.
So yeah, I had sure did. So I'm glad I'm not like that anymore though.
Yeah.
I've been there, and so hopefully we can help somebody else that's there. If somebody's out there listening to this, you know, you got 5 people on this platform that's qualified to give you some help. and to help
Yeah.
you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I say.
Ashe.
That's why I say what she said was just so profound and a lesson within itself, because you know so many people just want to fit in and just so willing to do what it takes to fit in. But I've seen guys, you know, I've seen some guys, man, get embarrassed. I mean, literally, but they still just want to fit in. I'm just like, I just can't believe it, you know. So it just goes to show you just that. I mean, but I feel like that's just a gift that we have as chosen ones, or whatever you want to call it, is having that strength to stand alone. Having it, because I mean, most of us are considered the black sheeps of our families anyway. So once you kind of get in that strength of being alone and standing alone, like it's an easy decision for us. But somebody might hear this and they just can't even fathom breaking away from loved ones or friends. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, who else do I have? They just can't even fathom just being by themselves for a little while. You know, so
Yeah, the helping hand you need
That's
is
the
at the end
problem.
of your
A
own
lot of
arm.
people, a lot of people. That's the problem right there. A lot of people don't know how to appreciate their own company, being by themselves. You know, that alone time, that downtime and stuff like that. They see that as punishment. They see that as loneliness. That will send them into depression.
yep,
But that
yep,
alone
yep,
time
yep.
is where you get to know yourself.
That's
That's where you
right.
get to go within yourself and know you, and start looking at your habits and your character traits and the things about you that needs to be changed and worked on. What they call it, the dark night of the soul or shadow work. You
Yep,
know,
yep, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Too many of our people are going after that status, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I was, you know, I emulated the drug dealers and, you know, killers and the hustlers and the pimps and stuff in my upbringing, you know. And it's different when you have, like what Jay Hooks was just saying, like people just will sit there and get embarrassed by the group of guys. Like I've seen people that's all these guys do, these group of guys just pick on this kid and talk trash about him, but he still kept hanging around. He still was the one, you know, he had a good job, he's a nerd, but he'll come and buy the weed or whatever and buy the snacks, and they just shit on him and he still stay around. And it was like, I used to just say to myself, why would he still hang around these people? But you know, it wasn't until recently that I understood why we would do something like that. You know, it's like at least I'd rather be in company with misery than alone. You know what I'm saying? And like that's what the way we're taught. But
Exactly.
once we learn otherwise, it's like, man, screw you, screw how you treating me and all that. I'm gonna go over here. If I got to be by myself to get the love that I know I deserve, then that's what I'm gonna do. You know, it takes growth to
Yep. Yep. It takes strength. The helping hand you need is at the end of your own arm.
Yeah.
I think it goes into those titles again, though, when we think about it. You think about it, when you on a spiritual journey and you say you conscious, think about how they label people crazy, delusional, weird, right? Think about it. We would be considered all those things because those are the things you have to be to tap into yourself and God,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
You
That's
have to,
exactly right.
yeah,
Yep.
those are the things you have to be to tap into God, to tap into source, to tap into who you are. But a lot of people don't want to be labeled that. So again, to be by myself, I would be considered crazy. I would be considered weird. Right? Oh, she acting different. Right? But those are the things you have to willingly be able to be and take on just to be who you truly are.
Yes, that's facts. That's fact.
Yeah.
There's a movie called K-Pax. I think I told Spec about this movie. It's with Patrick Swayze. Not Patrick. I can't remember. Was it Patrick? No, I can't remember who starred in this movie. But you got to watch this movie. It's called K-Pax with oh God, what's this dude's name? I can't think of his name. But it's about a bunch of so-called crazy people in a crazy house. But I don't want to spoil it for y'all. You got to watch. I mean, this movie is real. And in the end, it's a sister. In the end, that's, oh man, this movie's good. It's called K-Pax. I can't think of it as KPAX. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch this movie. I'm telling you, this movie is serious.
We'll have to look into that. And speaking on movies we gotta watch, I just watched that Sinners this weekend.
That's it. Yep, that's it in the chat.
I definitely ain't gonna, spoil it for anybody, but they made it
Kevin
for
Spacey, brother.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey.
They made it for us.
Thank you. That's
But,
an excellent movie. That's an excellent movie. Excellent.
Yeah. Because the opposite of crazy is really sane. Like you think about it, there's no such thing as crazy. You have to be willing to talk to yourself. You have to be ready to balance your mind and your thoughts. You have to be like that's you know what I'm saying. That's all the things that they label you as crazy, but really, that's what you gotta be to get to you. For you to get in control of you, you gotta be crazy.
Yep, that's what Bobby used to say that shit all the time. Queen. Yeah, you remind me of Bobby saying that because Bobby used to say that shit all the time.
Listen,
I'm sitting over here cracking up.
Because Bobby used to say you shouldn't have to go listen to something you already know. Knowledge should be something you don't know. It should sound crazy. It should sound out of this world. It should sound something. That's what he said. Knowledge is. It's not something that you already know.
Yeah.
You going to church, the Bible, you already know that stuff.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying?
I remember first getting on my journey and telling people that, I'm crazy. I'm insane according to society. According to society, I'm insane because I'm not with y'all. I'm not on what y'all on. I don't believe what y'all believe. My perspective of life is so far different from your perspective. Y'all crazy to you.
That's why y'all gotta watch that movie.
All right,
y'all gotta watch that movie. Y'all gotta watch that movie. You gotta watch that movie. I promise you gotta watch that movie because it's speaking to the point the way what the Queen is talking about. It's speaking to that exact point.
And peep how you go from crazy to now thinking you too good or you too smart or you think you better than somebody. Well, hold on, I'm crazy. How can I think those things?
That's a good point. Which one is it? Which one is it?
I've said this before, but that's part of the reason why a lot of people accuse other people of that. Like, oh, she thinks she know everything, or you think you just think you better than me, and it's like, no, you think I'm better than you. I didn't never said that.
Exactly.
I'm just.
I don't even move with that type of mindset. So
I'm in competition with myself. Well, how can I be better today than I was yesterday?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's my only focus.
Teach God.
I don't want to sit around and be in competition with this man. He just got $1 million. I got to get $1 million. And by the time I get that million, he's on 10. Now I got to I'm stressing myself out. Listen, how can I be better? You know what I mean? And that's what I focus on. Like,
don't compare yourself to nobody.
The video you had on Discord about the Easter thing. Like, I saw the first thing you had posted, sister, when we were discussing whether we were going to tap in for today or not, whatever. And I didn't watch the video for obvious reasons because I was, working on the integration and stuff. But, I'll catch it later. And it's like, I don't want to appear to be better than anybody, or I just want to be me. And I want you to be you. And I want us to disagree peacefully. You know what I mean? And we could still play basketball, play cards, play whatever, talk, whatever. I mean, but you like the red car, I like the blue one. I don't have to get the red one because you got the red one. You know what I'm saying? And people just they think we all got to believe in Jesus Christ, the saint savior of the world, and we don't all have to believe that, man. Whatever the belief works for you, and if it works, then by damn it, keep doing it. Don't let nobody stop you. But don't try to stop me when I say, Jesus wasn't no son of God, or he wasn't, the Jesus that you know what I mean? Like, if I believe differently, I believe differently. I could believe in aliens, and you don't have to. Even if they drop down from the sky right in front of your face, you could still say, well, this is some sort of Hollywood thing. Whatever, that's your prerogative. We got to get away from this tearing apart and separation just because we believe different beliefs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because you don't believe the same way somebody
Mm-hmm.
else believe. And the thing is, and let me tell you that there for me was a big wake up
Mm-hmm.
call too, because when you're being drenched inside religion and Christianity especially, you just condemn. I used to condemn people to hell. You go into
Right,
hell. You don't believe in Jesus. You're going to hell
right.
until you know until I had my own encounter. It wasn't in no church. It wasn't in no with nobody. It was just a personal. I was doing a 40-day
Yep.
fast, and that 40-day fast was when I had my own utopia, my own encounter. Like, hey, you preaching and teaching this thing, but you
Mm,
know, what if the person you preaching and teaching is the son of perdition?
Mm-hmm.
wow.
What you understand? This person you teaching and preaching and teaching is the same what you call it, Lucifer that you condemning people about and saying get thee behind me,
Mm-hmm.
Satan. And I was like, whoa, hold on. I cried for
Mm-hmm.
days. I shut myself away for days. You know how many people like, oh, Apostle, come back, come back.
Wow.
You know, you was a very powerful and you did this and you did it. We saw many miracle signs and wonders. Yeah, because why? My intentions of what I was doing was pure.
There it is.
You understand? My intentions was pure. I didn't do something to raise money and to get people to give me money and all this different stuff that people being doing, sow a seed or sow some money on this word and that word. No, I did everything I was doing was from a pure
Mm.
place,
Mm-hmm.
pure
Yeah.
intentions.
Yeah.
And so
Sister.
that's why I could have operated my powers. I've been operating inside my powers for many
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
years, but because
Mhm.
I was operating it from a pure place, it wasn't because I was calling on a particular
Mm-hmm.
name,
Mm-hmm.
but it
Wow.
was because I was operating personal encounter myself. So when you're talking about, hey, if you want to believe in Buddha, if you want to believe in the tree, if you want to believe in the stars, if you want to believe in Confucius and Muhammad and all of that, that's your belief system. I
Right.
didn't come to condemn.
Mhm.
Think about it. We could go to the scriptures time and time again. He said, I didn't come here to condemn the world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I came, he came to bring about a change. He came to make us conscious of who we are and the
Mm-hmm.
power that was inside of us. And that's what the high vibe tribe, that's what I know for me.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
All about doctors, all about you becoming conscious about who
Mm-hmm.
you are, this power you
That's
have
right.
inside of yourself
That's
to
right.
bring about the change that you want to see.
That's
Because he
right.
tell us the power working in us. We have this
That's right.
treasure in this earthen
That's right.
vessel. What is the treasure? The power.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But we
Mm-hmm.
did. We stop.
I,
We slow that.
Come on
That
with
was
sister,
it.
so
Come on with it,
you killing it.
sister.
You killing it. I wanted to add something real quick.
we have the
I never told anybody this.
go
And
ahead.
then, but just excuse me for interrupting you, sis. I never told anybody this, but when I came to that realization, it was during the fasting of Ramadan. You see what I'm
You
saying?
see?
And
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy because while I was
Yeah.
fat, like that's when everything hit me. I was like, oh wow. And I was like, wait a minute. So I started going back to my books, and I got a whole bunch of books of hadiths, and I'm reading the Quran and all that, and I was going back through, and I was like, wow, there's the message clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
But you go to
Yep.
Juma, and this Imam is telling you what he's reading, and he's giving you his interpretation. But if you're not putting your,
Yep.
like when you read any old book, you guys remember the movie Never Ending Story. When you read a book, you're completely immersed in the book. It's all happening to you. You're the hero, you're the villain, you know what I'm saying? So I realized that the Never Ending Story is right there in the scriptures. But when they're standing on those
Yep.
you're in the pews and they're up on that podium thing and they're preaching it, it's not, the message isn't getting through to you because you're just listening to a story. But when you read it, your brain
Yep.
has to actually work through what you just read. It's different when you read versus when
Yep.
you're hearing it.
You
Yes.
personalize
Yes. Yeah.
personalize it.
And
Yeah.
that, man, during Ramadan, it was during that fasting too. It was like, wait a minute, because you're empty. You've got no trash inside of you. You see what I'm saying? Like all the trash we eat, the sugar, you're not eating anything, so you don't have any of that in you. And man, that was when I was like, wait a minute. I need to look into really what's going on. And that's when I found the truth. So just to piggyback what you were saying as far as having that fasting period, and that's when you came to it. Honestly, that's when I came to too.
And think about it. Majority of the times when we deny ourselves food and stuff and the physical connection is when we truly connect to the divine. That's when we truly have all of those downloads and insights and revelation and stuff like that. It's when we empty ourselves of ourselves. We make that conscious sacrifice. I put no food in my body no more. I want more. I want to know more.
That's right.
And so, yeah, man, I want to be used. I want to see my powers
Absolutely.
come alive. So I just start seeing, what you call it, my hands illuminating and being able to see people's aura, raise the dead. You understand? People don't believe those things. We still could do those things, and power still working inside of us. I heal people from various dismantled cancers and sickness or the people's body and stuff like that, what they call Reiki healing. Now I understand all these things that I was doing because it's the power that was is inside of me, that is inside of each and every one of us. We have these powers.
Yes, we do.
We just don't know how to tap into it and maximize them.
And we got to start counting our little gifts too. Well, not little gifts, but I think gifts that are overlooked. For example, I was thinking, I was having this conversation with myself the other day, thinking it's certainly a gift and a power and a reward from the Most High to have your third eye open and to be able to see through the illusion. That's a gift within itself.
I say.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of times when we talk about getting gifts, people are thinking about, telepathy and stuff like that. But that's all gonna come down the line. But let's count the gifts that we have now, like the gift of discernment. And I've been told I'm a healer multiple times. So I count that as a gift, as a power. You know what I'm saying? So we got to count those too, for sure.
Definitely. Definitely. I like that, guy. I like the way you put that.
Yeah, all of it is our powers. All of it. When your third eye, well, your first eye, we call it third eye, but that's your first eye. When your pineal gland is decrystallized,
Right.
and you're able to function from within, because that's what your first eye is all about, being able to function from within more than you seeing what you see in physical two eyes on your head, being able to function from within.
That's right.
You
I like how you
imagine
said.
this. Watch this. You could say something to yourself right now without opening your mouth, but who is it speaking? Because you aren't using your physical mouth. You could close your eyes right now and still see and walk through your house and know where things are at. Which eyes are you seeing with?
Yeah. I was just gonna say. No, go ahead, sister.
You're hearing yourself speak without opening your mouth. Hearing without using it, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, how can you view the past and the future without using your physical eyes? See what I'm saying? Like you can literally look into the past and see it vividly. I remember certain parts of my past like so vividly, like it was yesterday. I can tell you every detail: what color I was wearing, what I ate for lunch, all that good stuff. And I'm literally viewing the past, but I'm not seeing it with these eyes that I see this screen with. You see what I mean? Like, yeah.
That's right. Our past, our present, and our future are all happening at the same time.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Family, if I didn't tell y'all before, I really appreciate love y'all. I will tell y'all once again, I appreciate love y'all.
Thank you. We love you too. We love you too, sis.
Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Love you too,
Ashe.
I say.
100%.
Yep.
That's one thing
Yeah.
that movie had. They said Ashe in that movie. That's the only thing. That's the only snippet I'm giving y'all. I gave that to J Hooks too. They said Ashe.
You know what movie?
Sinners
Oh, okay.
just came out. I went to see it today. Well, it came out days before, but up here it only came out on Friday.
Okay.
But yeah, Jay Hooks was like, "Man, don't spoil it." I said, "Bro, I can tell you about the movie without spoiling it. Trust me." It was that good. It was that.
It was
worth
that good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out since you
I
say
was
that.
like, "What?" There's so much gas in there, man. Like from the metaphysical level, from the symbolisms, from just they went in. And I love MBJ because he said I ain't never gonna do no movie that degrade my people, degrade my own people. I'm degrading myself, and that's why when I seen he was in it and had something to do with it, I was like, yeah, I might have to go check that out.
What about this?
That's why he played that Black Panther role so good.
And that was one of his favorite roles.
He played that role. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
You was getting ready to say something, Dr.
I was gonna
Sublime?
ask, have you all watched that other one too? G20.
I haven't watched that yet. I saw it, but I just never clicked on it. I saw it.
Yeah. I've
Is it
not
worth?
watched it.
Is it worth watching?
What is that about?
I've not watched this yet, but I want to because you know they got to tell truth inside there. They got to tell you what they be doing in those
Yeah.
G20 movies, these G20 meetings and stuff like that. So I'm sure they're gonna drop some gems inside of there.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
because they got to keep that
And
karma off of them.
Did you see the thing I sent you back that and I think I don't know if I sent it to the Queen Oracle with the Caucasian guy who talked about the next investment places. He's an investor, and he advising he think him to invest in Africa.
You sent it to me.
I think I did. I'm
It
not
might have been.
sure.
I was working on this stuff pretty much this whole week. You know, I tapped into Discord yesterday. I think like
yeah.
So I probably missed it, sister. But I will catch up with it.
One gentleman he was interviewing, it's a colored gentleman. He was interviewing. He asked this guy, he's a billionaire, so he's asking him how old he was when he made his first million and stuff like that, or what type of work he does and stuff. And so he said he's an investor, and so he said what advice would he give to somebody else who want to come up and be an investor? He told him said I would advise anybody now to turn their eyes to Africa because that is going to be that's where the movers and the shakers is going to happen and come from. I said, wow, that's powerful. That's
and then
powerful,
we see what Africa's doing right now.
I'm telling you.
Huh?
I said, then we see what Africa's doing right now, and it all makes sense.
Yeah, they see. You see yeah. And we just talked about Burkina Faso last week, and this week they had an all-out attack. All-out attack this week, man.
Wow.
So many lies.
I'm telling you.
You know,
I just found out. I just learned yesterday. I just learned yesterday somebody else that I know is talking about now moving to Africa, and I couldn't do nothing but laugh because it's like I say, man, I don't want to call myself a prophet. I don't want to call myself a psychic. But I knew this. I knew this a couple years ago. I knew more and more people was going to start gravitating towards, and then cause see, once people find out how loving it is over there, and because I'm seeing a pattern, people is realizing like, man, I go over there and I just feel at home, or I'm seeing these videos of just how loving it is and how it's so much more cultural, and it's just not the same as over here. And I'm telling you, I'm witnessing it myself. And I'm just like, man, I know this, but this, I hate to be the person to say I told you so, but it be a lot of stuff, man. I can't do nothing but sit back and just be like, I tried to tell you.
Hold on, dog. You can't avoid the elephant in the room. You just said you don't want to call yourself a psychic or a prophet. Why not? You just psychically a couple years ago said that this was going to happen, and it happened. I said I was going to meet who I met at the job. I did. I said what was going to happen in my court case, and it did. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with being a prophet and a psychic. People can look at us crazy all they want, man. Let them look. Let them say whatever they want to say, because whatever we're doing is working.
I was going to say what's resonating in your spirit and what your higher self is saying to you.
And you didn't get that from nowhere, God. You knew this was going to happen for a reason. Like, you was getting that from somewhere. That's the same place actual like mediums get their information from. You know what I mean? They pulling it from the same place you pulled it from. You know, they may have been born to tap in a little bit more, or they know who they are from birth. You know, some mediums, the psychics have that ability, but others, we develop it, bro. We develop that. How we know how to not go down this street or that alley, or to not mess with this person, because we're using our psychic ability. You know, call it intuition, call it your gut feeling, whatever you want, but it all pertains to the psyche.
Okay.
Facts.
Yep.
So yeah, call yourself the prophet. Call yourself a psychic. You know, and you don't have to be, you know, this great big Sylvia Brown or Nostradamus type psychic, but you're a psychic in your own experience, and you calling what you say is what.
Facts.
You know, there's many times where my wife will look on the news and be like, "Oh, we're gonna get some snow," and I look outside and I'll feel the engine, be like, "It ain't gonna snow today." And sure enough, she'll be like, "How you know that?" Because I just know. You know what I mean? That snow ain't coming till this weekend. And it don't come till the weekend. It just, sometimes it's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they taught us not to tap into that type of power that we've been having all this time. We've had the power to do these things. We don't believe in it, you know? And even though we're conscious, like you just said, you like, I don't want to call myself a psychic or a prophet. They taught us to say those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we need each other to remind, because the Oracle reminds me, Sublime, even Sirius reminds, like I've used the word dead a lot, and he's like, you know, he reminds me, you know, and I take that reminder and I apply it, because it's only factual. It's right. Nothing does die. Nothing can die. Everything that is in existence is going to be in existence. You know what I mean? So, like, how can you kill metal? Metal's still always going to be metal. You can liquefy it all you want. It's still metal. Right? So it's the same thing with us, man. You can liquefy us all you want. I'm still going to be who I am. And I'm just going to come back strong.
Well spoken, brother. It's just like I was just saying, man, we got to start even counting our gifts that we might not even consider gifts. We got to count it all.
You
know?
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, my rough upbringing was a gift, man.
Mine too. Mine too.
It's a gift for some other poor souls out there, or kids that's, you know, thinking that there's no end to their suffering. That's what I was thinking.
And I'm starting to realize now that what's more important is what's going on in our inner world. Our outer world is just like a hologram of what's going on in our inner world.
Right. Yeah.
So if inner world is straight. If your inner world is straight, your outer world is straight.
Yeah.
So
it's all about the projection.
Yeah. So the focus should be on the inner world. Focus on the inner world. Like I was reading the other day it was saying something about how to achieve I think it was called what they said, I think it was called mind oh gosh, I can't think of the term right now. It's called mind something where you keep your mind even-mindedness. Meaning it's called even-mindedness, meaning whatever happens outside of you, you don't change your emotional state. Like if something bad happens out, whatever so-called bad happens, your emotional state doesn't change. You just, okay, whatever, you keep it moving. Right? So you learn how to practice even-mindedness, and that's powerful. That's actually walking in your power. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing outside of you can really affect you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when it does affect you, you're losing power.
Yeah.
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 And it's tapping into the carnal mind.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like an imbalance between the carnal mind and the divine mind.
Mind.
Yeah.
So the carnal mind is emotion. So like you said, if you could block out that emotion and just take what is as is and
It
keep
is.
moving,
Yep.
keep you
Yep.
in that vibration. Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Mhm. Yeah, I like that. That's a good. That's a challenge. That's a good challenge.
It is.
That's a
It
very good
is.
challenge.
Yep. So that's what I've been doing. I've been practicing even mindedness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
Yep.
I'm gonna take
practicing
on
it.
that practice myself.
And I've been failing short sometimes, but I if I fall, I get back up and just keep going.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't never gonna give up.
That's right.
I still believe, you know, and think that that's the ultimate goal is being able to be completely in control of your emotions. You know,
It is. It
you know what
separates.
keeps me going. What keeps me going? I see something like, for example, I just watched a video or clip of how they doing the immigrants. Um, I mean, they mistreating these guys bad, whether they criminals or not. I don't think they deserve to be treated the way they are. So of course I started feeling a little bad about it. But like you say, I gotta control my inner peace. So what I told myself was, despite how messed up that is, we all know this is a matrix, a game, an illusion. Who knows? Now they might have these pitiful looks on their face or whatever, but we don't know. I don't know what they did in the past life or maybe even in this life where they allowed themselves to experience that. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's their experience. Even though I'm looking at it like, damn, that's messed up. That's their experience, not mine. I can't allow that to ruin my inner peace.
Yeah. And I agree with that 100% because that's a vibration. What they're
Exactly.
experiencing is part of their vibration. You would never
Exactly.
experience that because that's not your vibration,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
But yet they put it in front of us to get our emotions attached to that vibration and to get in our energetic field to change our vibrations to fit into theirs.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly.
That George
Right?
Floyd type thing all over again.
Yeah, it's an energy game. It's how sorry can you feel for something you don't understand? Like you said, you didn't experience. You don't know why they are in the way that they are, what they done. But something had to happen for them to be in that energetic field, and that has nothing to do with us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
It could
That's
be.
why I don't watch. That's why I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. Like it's not because I was asking myself the other day when I watch movies, I notice I talk a lot. I'm like, why am I always talking like this is real? I know it got to pause to play and a record, but I'm getting attached. My energy is getting attached. I'm getting intertwined in this play, and that's all it is a play, but it's a play of my emotions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
That's
I'm
a good
speaking about what they
observation.
should have did. I'm talking about what they could have did, and I know it ain't real. What the hell?
Right.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. That's a
I
damn
promise.
good observation, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm serious. That's a damn
Yeah.
I ain't
good
gonna lie, man,
observation.
I get frustrated with that sometimes because I overhear some other people's conversations and they just get so riled up and putting so much energy. I'm thinking they talking about something that really happened. Whole time they talking about a show,
That's
and
what
it's
I'm
like
saying.
it's like, yo, where is this enthusiasm for what's really going on in real life?
Right.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
this enthusiasm for this show. I mean, you saying what your name did? Man, I can't believe they did that. It's like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
it's not even real. But
It's
y'all so
scripted.
excited and
Yeah.
so passionate
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
But when we want to talk about some real stuff, what's really going on,
They didn't know about it.
people get
Right.
quiet, people,
You get
next
crickets.
conversation, next question. Come on, man.
They want to change the conversation.
Yeah.
Right. But when I hear you say show, it's like, let me show you how much I can get into your emotions. Let me show you how I can control your energy because that's what it comes down to.
Yep, that's what it. Yep,
We're getting attached to something that they're getting paid to perform. They're performers,
that's
and we're
right.
letting their performance get the best of us.
That's right.
Yep.
Right.
Instead of looking for the symbolisms, looking for the entertainment, and just looking for the knowledge you can gain from some of the gems, because you know they drop the truth right behind the lies.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so glad I was able to decipher and get in between that and be like, okay, no, this is just this. And I also control, what I watch too, but it's like, I know that this is just attempting to play on my emotions. So I'm looking at it like a scientist more so. That's how I watch TV now, like more like a scientist. I'm just studying for the facts. I don't care about how I feel about this particular thing. You know, what I want to be able to be like Superman and fly around the sky like right now and just take off, sure. But I'm not going to let that take away from the facts. What I feel taken away from the facts. You know, feelings are facts. We know this.
I feel like I just pick and choose when I want to play chess with my mind. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, you know, I was kind of thinking yesterday when I was at the funeral. It's kind of thinking about like the soul when it comes to this plane. It's encased in material. It's encased in matter, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, you know, like is the soul fermenting while it's inside the human vessel? Is it fermenting to become something else? Kind of like when the caterpillar's in the cocoon, it comes out a butterfly. Is that are we experiencing? I'm kind of wondering, are we gonna
I believe
experience
we are.
Yeah.
something like
Actually,
that?
yeah.
I believe we are.
Yeah. Remember, it started off as sperm, so it's definitely fermenting. It's definitely like a tadpole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, we have to come here with this experience, and the butterfly goes through an experience of change. We're going through an experience, you know, we're learning from this experience. So, yeah, I honestly believe you're 1,000% correct on that, what you came up with.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about it yesterday, man. I was and just watching a young man. You know how they got the casket open?
Yeah.
And you could see him laying there, you know. And I was just like wondering, like, does the soul have does the soul give the physical body an expiration date? And when that expiration date comes up, it just comes up. Not that it's necessarily something bad to happen, but that soul has experienced all it needed to experience. So now it's been fermenting, and now as it leaves the body, it's going to be something else. It's going to create a new reality. Because it's already experienced this reality. So now it's going to create something new.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that was always the understanding that we already chose what we wanted to look like, who we wanted to come through, and we all had an expiration date. And I think that's what that was the understanding that death shouldn't hurt us so much. When you understand that everything must go, you just don't know the day or time, the hour. You don't know that person's plan for itself.
Right.
So you might be hurt, but to them, they out, they gone. That was part of their plan. They did, like you said, they did what they had to do. Now they experience.
Right.
Some of us, because we didn't learn about death as much, you know, you got people suffering from people that died 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife was doing that, man. It took me a few years to, you know, break it down to her. I'm like, and I had to ask her, I said, you know, when did your dad die? You know, and it's not her biological father either. And he was abusive, you know what I mean? Whatever to the entire family. So, and I asked her, I said, you know, when did he die? And she told me, I was like, wow. I said, so you've been carrying this all this time.
Like a backpack.
Yeah, right. Like a heavy backpack that's just weighing on your shoulders, on your back, on your chest, and you holding on to that. And he wasn't even a good dude to you.
Man, you know what? Let me cut you off real quick, bro, because I'm sitting here thinking about that as you saying it. The fact that you said, you know, he was an abusive spirit just made me immediately wonder, did he latch himself on to her? You know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking too, because it took a while for me to break it, because she just like, oh, so you just don't care? I said, yeah, somebody, you know what I mean? Like, and she watched me go through it, and I think that's honestly what helped her get through it. She watched like my brother pass. She watched my homie pass, and my other cousin pass, and then my grandmother pass. And like, I wasn't shedding no tears or none of that. And I stopped going to these funerals because all you ever hear, I've told y'all this before, but all you ever hear is, we need to come together and we need to stick together as a family. And you heard that this Saturday, didn't you, brother?
Yep.
Same old spiel.
I heard that yesterday. Same.
You know what I mean? The same
pulling
old
on your
spiel,
heartstrings, trying to pull on your heartstrings.
Right. You know,
we go back in their presence.
Because life is short. Yeah, you say that, and then next week ain't nobody contacting nobody. So
right.
And I'm gonna go ahead and go this way. I'm not giving that my energy.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
The next funeral I go to, I want it to be a celebration of life and
Yes,
how we remember
yes.
that person, and we love that they, we loved how this person used to laugh and how they used to joke or how they used to do this, that, and the third, and we having a ball. You know what I'm saying? We got the grill fired up, and you know what I mean. The music's playing is that person's favorite music or whatever. You know what I mean? And we're dancing and celebrating. That's what they did back. That's what our ancestors did.
Yeah.
They helped us pass to the next stage. Not sitting there, and then you know what I'm saying. They sitting there watching you like, come on, man, really? All this for my passing? Supposed to be happy I'm free.
And a lot of
look
us
like you
done
wanted me to stay in jail.
Right.
Yeah.
That's Tupac's little, you know what I mean? All eyes on me. Y'all motherfuckers look supposed to be happy I'm free. You look like y'all wanted me to stay in jail. We in jail around here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy though, man. That's definitely the first thing that came in my mind. You know?
But no, you're right, because that's the thing, like when death approaches a lot of people, we don't understand that we open up a energetic cord, and when you crying and you so down, like that's opening it up for spirits to attach themselves to you. Like that actually could have happened. Like it really could have happened because of that hurt and that pain. You open up an energetic and an aura field for other things to get in and attach themselves.
And listen to this, sis. He didn't only attach himself to her; he attached himself to me too, because I'm involved with her, and my feelings and my emotions is opening up. And I was thinking, man, I was like, yo, I gotta shake this. I knew what it was. She didn't. And I'm like, listen, we got this. This can't go. This can't be. This ain't, you know what I mean? This ain't what I want. This ain't right. This ain't what you want. You know? And it took a little while, but it was like, listen, you gotta let this person go. You are hanging on to this person, and they crept into bed with you, ass naked, drunk, while you were asleep. They didn't, you know what I mean? They didn't really care about you. And he was about to do something crazy until you woke up crying and went to your mom. Like, come on, man. That shit. Stop holding on to this person and this spirit, because that's all you're holding on to. Because the actual spirit, the soul, who probably, you know what I mean, has now separated from that entity, has nothing to do with what, you know what I mean? That's just that entity left behind. That same entity now is dictating your life, and you can't move forward because you're so stuck on the fact that he died. And every time there's something happened or something even relatable to him, she would cry. I'm like, we got to kill this. We got to stop. That was
that's crazy.
Years ago. You still, it's like he died yesterday. Excuse me. It's like he passed yesterday. You still, come on, man. It was 15, 20 years ago.
Beck made a good statement though, and I wanted y'all to hear what he said. It attached itself to him because of his attachment to her. Right? And that's some real stuff, because I've experienced that, and it made me, I only brought it up because I want us to think about, we got to really sit and get to know, how do people deal with death? Because if they don't deal with death in a more high vibrational way, that can block your blessings. That can block you, and that can drain you because of you sexually connecting with them and y'all exchanging energy where now that energy is being transferred. Because that is real. Like, that really happens. That has happened to me before. So that is real.
We was getting into physical fights and some more stuff. I'm like, bro, this ain't me. This ain't you. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know how to vibe, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, this ain't how we started out. You know, we was just vibing. Like, what happened to that? And it's because we were getting closer. And so as I'm getting closer and she's getting closer to me, she's seeing my demons, I'm seeing hers, and lo and behold, we're working on expelling those demons from us. But some of them are so embedded into us because we think that we have to stay attached to these people because that's my mother, that's my father, but that's my brother. Fuck your mother, fuck your father, fuck your brother.
It's not really F them. It's just finding a real way to release them where it's not or draining you.
Well, in layman's terms, fuck them because you want to worry about you. And not F them in that way. Just, you got to forget about all that right now. And that's what I mean by fucking forget
It's
them.
the art of letting go. We have to
Right.
learn how to
You
let
gotta
go.
let go. You gotta let go.
Right.
You gotta
Learn how to
think
let
about
go.
them. You
Mhm.
gotta think about you right now.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Because that person's long gone. They've been gone for 20 years
Mhm.
now. And
Mhm.
you still hanging on to everything that they passed with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not looking at what you still have. You still got a family. You got a beautiful son. You got a beautiful sister. You got a beautiful mother. You got friends. You got this, that, and the third. Let's just focus on that.
Mhm.
We focus on this person that was here and gone. You know what I mean?
But what I always say is, do you think that person would want you hurt? Like, you think that person left to drain you or to see you going through something that they're no longer going through, or that they would want to see you or leave you in that type of space? Like, that's what I always say. They didn't leave here for you to be depressed and suppressed and angry and
Right.
living in pain every day you think of them. That's not how I don't feel like nobody would leave somebody in that. I mean,
Right.
people do it, but
And
you
my
know, but you know what I mean. Like, that was always my outlook when it come to death. Like, you think they would want you crying and suffering and feeling like you can't go on without them? No.
Mhm.
And you know, my great grandfather, he wasn't, you know, he was a total, you know, piece of work. You know what I mean? However, the one thing that stood true in my mind is when he said, "Don't come to my funeral crying all them goddamn tears." And he would say that all the time. And guess what everybody do, including myself, when he passed?
Crying
Everybody
like a baby.
at his
Mhm.
and singing that same old song and dance. We need to stick together and hang out more and do this more. And everybody exchange numbers, and we talk to each other for about a week,
Mhm.
and then you don't hear from them until the next funeral.
Yeah, and then
I said, man, I'm done with this garbage. This is enough. This is sucking my energy.
and you know, to be honest, that's the kind of energy that holds the deceased here.
There you go.
All that crying.
There you go.
Yeah, that keeps them
I was about to
here.
say that. It is. We're supposed to be
That weighs them
celebrating a
down. You're
resurrection.
supposed to be
Right.
celebrating, clapping, partying, like you said, dancing, thinking about the
Yeah.
good memories you had. All that crying and mourning, that holds them down. That's weight.
Yeah.
That's like a weight being on their shoulders.
Right. Because
I was
now they
about to say
feeling
the
like,
same
damn, I gotta
thing.
comfort. They feeling like I gotta comfort this person or these people because they're crying over my passing or my leaving. They're crying, so I gotta comfort them, and they stay here. That's why we see all these ghosts, and it's like.
But do y'all feel like we was taught to celebrate death that way? Don't y'all feel like that?
Yep.
We were kind of programmed to celebrate.
Yeah, we were programmed. Yeah.
Because think about it, half these people ain't seen these people in years and decades, and then the funeral come, they crying like they really miss them, like they really was around.
And that's what I thought yesterday, Queen. I said we need a new way to start sending our people out of here.
Yeah.
This way is bullshit.
Yes.
And that's exactly
my French.
How many times have I said that, Tribe, before Sirius got here? How many times have I said I want to create an entire? That's the next funeral I'm going to when we create something that is.
Yeah, something that because that shit is. I was like,
that's
man,
producing. That's going to produce flowers to grow.
It's all about the money. I could see this shit is all about the damn money.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, even when you look at the scripture tells you to rejoice when leaves and mourn when somebody is born into the sorrow, but when they leave out of it. But then they turn it around and make it a morning thing. That's why they like to tell you, say good morning. What's good morning?
Yeah, right. You're supposed to have a good morning. It's supposed to be good. It's not supposed to be sorrow and sadness and crying. Like if you watch how the Muslims bury somebody, it is a celebration. They wrap them in the sheet and they smell good oils and they lay them on the right side and they have a party after. I'm like, that's how I want to go.
Yeah.
Go
that's why the information that's out there about the so-called bunny ears elites, these evil forces, these reptilians, whatever. That's why it makes a lot of sense that when people say that they are trapped down here and they can't elevate, that's why they done brainwashed everybody else into feeling like we don't want to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make a lot of sense.
Can't detach.
It's like, I can't go nowhere. I don't want you to go nowhere either. And I want everybody else to feel sad about not being able to leave. But like y'all saying, we should be congratulating, like, you just got your golden ticket.
Bro. You done graduated. Shit.
That's right.
You know, we still trying to graduate. We still down here dealing with toilets and food and all kind of shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my French. But you know.
It's
We
the
still-
truth.
And like your uncle, even though you say he was a piece of work, his soul, even though you know his soul probably knew, like, yeah, y'all won't come in there crying for me. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get up out of here. Don't come in there crying for me, because y'all gonna keep me here longer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, most of the reason why he said that, though, because he knew how much of a piece of shit he was. You know, don't cry for me, because he knew, like, to turn all of his children into drug addicts, into dope fiends, and to molest his daughters, his own daughters. Yeah, you was a piece of shit, bro. You know what I mean? And I don't care. I'll say that live on live. I don't care how my family feel about it. It is what it is. Deny it all you want. That's the reason why you still broken and you're not healing, because you're not facing the facts that he was not no, you know what I mean? We call him Godfather, but he wasn't really, because a Godfather is going to look out for you as God would. That's how I see a Godfather. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's why he was saying that. Don't cry for me. I'm not worth it. That's what I gathered from after learning about his life and his history, and you know, it all made sense to me. So, yeah, I think it was both.
Something else I had wanted to.
I think he meant it like, don't cry for me because I'm going to a better place, but also don't cry for me because I wasn't the best man on over here, and I definitely could have did better, and I'm not worth your tears. After all the suffering I've caused this family, I'm not worth your tears.
Right. Yeah, it was something else I had wanted to speak on too when we were talking about spirits attaching to people. Again, this is something that they show in movies all the time. I can't think of a horror film that involves like ghosts and demons and all that. I can't think of one that the person wasn't in a very low vibrational state. They was distraught. They was crying all the time. They was drinking. They was doing drugs. And this is what, like y'all say, this is what opened the gateway for that demon to attach. This is why it's so important. We all gonna go through these moments. We all gonna experience this. But this is why it's so important not to get stuck in that energy. Do your best. Cry, get it out your system. Because crying does, it does help you release for sure.
Yeah, it does.
Cry, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if you even need, however long you need, just don't get stuck in it. Make sure you do something to get out of that energy.
Yeah.
And 15 years is too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's too long.
Way too long.
In my opinion, I think 3 years is too long.
15 minutes. 15 minutes is too long. I mean, that's just what my opinion. 15 minutes is too damn long.
Yeah, I
mean,
I might have to disagree with that one. If it just happened, I might give it a little while, and I'm gonna cry a little bit. But,
yeah.
However, I'm gonna remember what that person brought here, and that's gonna make me smile. And once I start smiling, it's over. The crying's over from that.
Yeah,
that don't usually take long. So I mean, I definitely I can agree with your 15 minutes, depending on how well you've been practicing this. But if you need an hour, if you even need a day, cool. You know what I'm saying? Even a few days. But if you can't go back to work after a week, you might need some real psychological help.
Yeah.
I like what Oracle did a while ago. She had a situation, and that she spoke about on live, and she said, "I'm giving myself 72 hours for this." You know what I'm saying? I think that that's a practice a lot of people should take on too. I'm gonna allow myself this grace period to grieve, get it out of my system. And after that,
I'm
shower, I'm freshening it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting back on my feet.
Yeah.
Makes
That's
sense.
the right thing to do. You give yourself a time frame to mourn, to grieve, to cry, to ask the why, and then out go bed and move on. Life doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then we wondering why, we hold on to these persons, we hold on to their memories, we want to keep their clothes, we want to keep, this thing and the next. Get rid of those things. person that person left the minute they stopped breathing, they left that body. That body is just the house that housed them, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep.
Oh no. Some
My
people
bad, I
just
tapped
jump down
out.
and they
But
do
I
that.
wanted to say, Jay Hooks, I think you right. Like it's not about the crying of it. I just think if you're gonna, if I don't want to say mourn, but I have to say, if you're gonna mourn in the privacy of your own home within yourself, because I just feel like it opens up a bigger tunnel and a bigger field when it's a group of people mourning. It makes the energy more powerful of
Yes.
suppression and depression. So I feel like if you're gonna
Yes.
mourn of a loss, there's nothing wrong with it. But I feel like that's something you should do in a confidence and within your own home or within your own space where it's just you releasing and
Right.
letting go that person on your own accord.
Yeah.
Because again, energy is very
It's like
strong. You know, the power of three or more makes
energy.
anything more powerful. So it's like in a whole, in a whole funeral home, 30 people crying. That's a strong, powerful energy.
Oh, yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sure is, because I felt it. I felt it yesterday.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I felt that energy. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
You
I
know,
couldn't tell you anything, brother. I didn't want to tell you anything. I said, man, I'm gonna probably wait till Sunday, and I'm glad the conversation just kind of came up because I forgot all about it. So I'm glad it popped up. It was meant to be. Like I would have been like, man, I was gonna tell you, watch yourself, keep your energy high, and you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I did. I had my crystals on. I had my
Yeah,
I had
because
my amethyst. I had my amethyst on.
that
And
many
amethyst
people.
is good for channeling people that are mourning. Amethyst is good for taking low vibrational energy and turning it into high vibrational energy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I got sick of that scene though, y'all, and I know y'all did too. You know, but we talk about it. It's like we got to do something different. There's no reason why we need to be that miserable that somebody is transitioned, passed on, moved to the next level, the next dimension. You know, this is unnecessary. You know, they left something here for you. You left something. You actually had the privilege of knowing this person and being around this person. You know, I couldn't see myself crying for months and months over one of y'all. You got, man, y'all gonna be look like, bro, really, bro. All that shit you talk, really? You better get your ass up out of that shit. So I can only see myself, even if something like that happened, I can only see myself crying for the moment just because of selfish reasons. Because I miss y'all. That's it. But after that, it's gonna be like, you know what, man? We had a great time together. We used to podcast every Sunday. We did this, that, and the third. We was on, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna remember that, man. I remember when we all was standing in that parking lot, us three, and blah blah blah. When we all went to California or Jamaica, or we all went to, Kenya to go see Sublime or this, that. I'm just gonna remember those times, and that's gonna, that's gonna breed more high vibration to myself as well as whoever's left behind here, and we're going to be talking about this person in a good way, and we're all going to have good feelings and goosebumps and all that good stuff, and it's going to, what I mean, we're going to still feel that person there with us. Because it feels so disconnected this other way. It's just like you can't hear. I bet there's so many times I could have sworn I heard the passing speaking to me, but I couldn't hear over all the crying. I couldn't hear nothing over all the crying.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to put it out there. Cry before y'all get there. Celebrate, dance, and then go head home and carry that down.
Yeah.
But at the funeral home, and you know what? I don't know why I don't want no funeral. Like y'all can do that at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Save the money. Save the money. Go ahead and cremate me. Okay, ain't that deep. I don't want to be buried up in the dirt. I ain't come out the dirt. Yeah. And let go from there. Go ahead and spread me out in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? And go party on the. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Yeah.
I wrote something like that. I said, bury me in the sea. Then I'll be free. No more pain and agony. So leave me be. I'm somewhere every day. There's a party. Brothers in harmony. Man, I went in on that one, like, because that was a long time ago. I didn't want to feel that pain anymore. Like it didn't have to be this way, you know. And I started thinking to myself, if everybody, that's everybody saying, oh, don't worry, they're on to a better place. Mm-hmm. So if you say that, then why are you sitting here crying? Why was you up there crying when you did the eulogy then? Mm-hmm. But you telling me it's gonna be okay. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I can go ahead and get cremated. I don't want no service.
Yeah, man, we need a better way.
Like an energy lock. Like now that you think about it, that's definitely an energy lock.
It is.
Yep, yeah. It is. That's why I was thinking yesterday. We need a better way of doing this.
Yeah,
because this is we doing this the way we was taught. We've been conditioned to do it.
Right.
Exactly. And we know everything we was taught ain't getting us nowhere.
Yeah, right. Ain't getting us nowhere. So this got to change. This got to change.
Yeah.
This has to change. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And you know, we already dealing with all the stuff we dealing with on here. You know, why we put that extra stress on our heart? Mm-hmm. You know, that's what started to wake my wife up. I said, you know, all the stuff you go through and you've been through, you're putting that extra hurt on yourself, mourning this person this long. Mm-hmm. You know, you should be able to talk about this person, you know, as if they still here, as if it ain't no bother, no way or another. As soon as I mention them, you start crying. Why? Mm-hmm. You know, now I can mention them. She's actually listening. She's listening to our content right now. You know, she ain't in there crying because what I got to cry for? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, beautiful son, beautiful life and family, and this, that, and the third. What are you crying for? Because this person passed 20 years ago? Come on, man. Let it go.
You know what I think? I think that sometimes people feel like we're doing a disservice to our ones that we lost by not crying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think people feel like that sometimes, like we forgetting about them, or we're not showing that we care enough by not being so super emotional about them passing.
But hold on, they wasn't emotional or care when they was living.
Right.
They wasn't there supporting them when they needed them when they was alive and breathing.
Right.
So are you really helping me while I'm dead to say you care now that I'm gone and you ain't gotta look at me and make no effort to help me?
Right.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, facts.
That's facts. But you know what though? I'm thinking about. So let me just go ahead and put it out there. I'm thinking about my brother's grandmother, and she just passed recently too. May she rest in peace, rest in power. But I remember when he first passed, you know, I was going to see her regularly, take his son over there to see her, whatever. But anyway, that's how she was. She would just, you know, be so emotional about it every time I go see her. And it wasn't that situation because she, you know, she loved that man, you know, was always there for him, whatever. So I'm thinking about the people that's like that, that is actually there for him. You know, when people pass away, I think they kind of feel like they doing them wrong by not crying about it.
Right, like that's the best way to remember them. No, I get what you mean.
Know what I mean? Yep. So, but like you said, it just goes back to the programming of what we've been taught to act like that instead of being happy for them and knowing that they're going to the next phase in their journey, in a existence. You know,
right?
I hear what you say. Huh? But when you think about it, right? Like for me, I just my grandmother, and me and her was very close. You understand? I mean, when I say we was close, we was close. And hearing the news, yes, I cried hearing the news. But then what brought me through it is the good times we had together. Her teaching me how to farm, her doing my hair, her teaching me how to bake, all of those. So yes, you cry on the initial stage of, hey, this person is gone, you're not going to see them anymore, they're no longer going to be around. But then you shift that energy to all the positive things you know about that person, all the positive things you did together, all the positive things that person was, and stuff like that. So I would never tell somebody don't cry, right? But shift the energy after you don't cry from hearing the news that they're no longer around to now. Wow, I remember when we did this together, and I remember when she came. I remember. So they're the things that should uplift the person. If you had forged or you had developed or you had a good relationship with the person. Now the other thing that caused people to cry for a long time is when you did not have a good relationship with that person. You
Mm,
understand? Either they
right,
Yeah.
did you wrong or you did them wrong, and you never got closure.
Yeah.
right. Yep.
So
That's
that
the other
that
side
not
of it for
getting
sure.
closure is another aspect of why people mourn so long because they didn't get no closure, and now that person is gone and they wasn't able to tell you sorry and acknowledge the wrong that they did to you and all that
Yep,
different
damn,
stuff that
that's a good
they're
one.
the things that you had wanted them to do, and so that could weigh a person down. That anger for one person and
Mm-hmm,
then the guilt for another person. Like your mother died and you and your mom or your dad but did not have that good relationship type of situation, or you didn't treat them right, or they didn't treat you right. So you see, so mourning that crying could come from different aspects and stuff like that.
for sure.
Like I said, for the initial stage, even for my mom, when my mom transitioned, I cried hearing the news, but I knew how I treated my mom when she was alive. I
Mm,
knew how I spoiled to the best of my ability. So I was able to speak at her service and say, as I knew her, I didn't want somebody else to go up there and say, as they knew her. No, let me tell you how I know my mom, the kind of woman she was. You understand the love that she showed in her community and stuff like that. You see, from those different aspects, as you say, um, losing that person and not being able to see them anymore, and but then transform it into the beautiful memories. That's why I tell my children, if you are dare put my body inside a church, I will come back, I'll sit up and I'll slap all of y'all and then I'll lay back down and go back to sleep. I will torture, I tell them, I will come back and I will torture y'all. Y'all would have sleepless night if y'all roll my body in a church.
Mm,
Mhm.
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 right. Better not bring my body in no church.
Mhm.
Nope. Nope.
Mhm.
I'm
That's what
telling
Yeah.
we love it. I tell you for real, for real. I tell them point blank, don't do it. Have a celebration, and if you put on black, that's even worse. You better put on red and purple and yellow and green and
Right. Something
Mhm.
vibrant.
Yeah. Yeah.
red.
Yeah.
People was
Yeah.
looking at me crazy. Y'all went to my brother's funeral in colors. I just wore what I
See?
wear on a normal day, like if I was
Mhm.
going
Don't
to a club,
don't
Mhm.
put on the cute. I
smiling
would
Mhm.
and
never go to
laughing with
people.
everybody. Oh, I ain't seen you in a minute, man. What's up? Giving dap,
Mhm.
just like
I can picture that, man.
man.
It's
They was
fine.
they was
Have,
confused, God,
have fun.
confused.
Celebrate. That's right. Celebrate. Don't. I I a happy go lucky person. I laugh all the time. Don't you dare come. You better have
Right.
Mhm,
man. You play some lively music and dance and
mhm.
Yeah.
play one block. Trust you me. You'll find you'll find yourself getting your toe pulled or something like that. Like blowing your ass. Why you here in this block? You'll be hearing my voice. Why you come here in this block?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's have
Mhm.
It'll
fun,
be like
man.
that again. It'll be like that
Mhm.
again for
Yeah,
sure.
man.
We going through the reset right now, and I think that once we all done our jobs, our missions, as far as us being scattered, and it's time for us to come together, and it's time for us to have these more of because it's happening. But once we get more
Mhm.
of these communities going on, and yeah,
Mhm.
passings will be like that again. It
Mhm.
ain't gonna have no choice because it's nobody living in a high vibrational community is gonna stay down for too long anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm. Facts on facts on facts.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to add this one little story that Bobby told me that one of his friends had died, And Bobby went to the funeral, and Bobby said he was thinking, damn, man, I've been studying all these books. I've been studying all this knowledge. I could bring this dude back. He said, man, I got the knowledge. I could bring this dude back. So Bobby said he channeled the dude. And the dude was like, nigga, I don't want to come back there. What the fuck you think I want to come back there for? He said,
Hey,
he told me, what the, he said, just let me go. He said, you think I want to come back there and pay rent again? Have to eat food? And then he said, no, nigga, let me go. So, yeah, so Bobby said he realized, damn, I'm being selfish because I'm going to miss him. I'm not realizing, I'm not even taking into consideration if this nigga want to come back or not.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You just thinking about your own selfish reasons. Oh, I'm going to miss him. You crying. But you ain't understanding this nigga may be glad he gone.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But we crying and sad and
Right.
So yeah, Bobby said that taught him a lesson. It taught him a big lesson when that happened, when he experienced that. He said the nigga told him, man, I don't want to come back there. What makes you think I want to come back there?
Man, that's funny. It's so true.
And you know, I might not want.
I had a friend that lost.
Go ahead, brother.
No, I was just gonna say I had a friend that lost a grandmother years ago, and I'll never forget. He told me she was in her casket smiling. So he looked so. He said she looked so good in the casket, and that's just a story that stuck with me ever since.
You know, that was a request. Somebody requested to make me smile because you know the Undertaker normally won't. Excuse me, the what they call
the makeup artist,
yeah,
whatever.
Morgue. But anyway, you know, they usually it's like just a faint expression. There's no smile, there's no frown. Just kind of like they're sleeping or whatever. That's what they're told to really. But if you request, like, nah, make them smile, man, that'll change everybody's mood inside the whole thing. Imagine walking up and you going to the wake, you walking to the body and they smiling. It's gonna creep some people out, but some people gonna get a good laugh out of it. Wow, they smile. You know what? I can't help but smile. When somebody else smiles, you walk by somebody that smiles and they smile, you usually smile back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna make you smile regardless. Like, that's even a better plan than just I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna cry my eyes out, and then I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna talk about it, I'm gonna cry my eyes out, and then when I go to work, I'm gonna get, you know, into this, and kids are going to school fighting because, you know, and I don't care about nothing. I just lost my mother. Okay, so that's a reason for you to act like a damn fool. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I'm glad we just tried.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother. I can already see we're not gonna have none of that.
Now I was just gonna say it's about that time for me, family. Gotta start getting ready to, get my stuff ready for this evening.
Sir.
But man, I love this episode. Well, I love all of them, of course, but I just feel like we already came with it this week. And man, I'm just super charged up, man. Like I always say, shout out to the tribe. Appreciate y'all so much. Shout out to everybody that tuned in, may tune in later. Hope y'all vibe with us, and peace and love until the next time.
Ashe.
Peace and love, family. This is Dr. Sublime. It's always a joy and a privilege to tune in and chop with our tribe. It carries you so far. The energy is always high. The information is always lit, and I am eternally grateful, for us being able to come together. Family, those of you listening in now or maybe listening in later, I trust that something we've said will help you along your journey in your enlightenment, that will help you to vibrate very high. And if you feel led to join a tribe, you are welcome. I always say, be gentle with yourself because we are on a journey. Much love, family.
Ashe.
It's your boy Speculum Ambulo. I'm here with the tribe. Man, it's been a beautiful, epic conversation about our journeys through life. I appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We want y'all to know that. Please tap in with us on Fanbase, the Fanbase app as well, because that's where all of our content is guaranteed not to get shut down. So make sure y'all go check us out over there. I believe we have the link in the description. If not, we'll make sure it's in there. But with that being said, make sure y'all remember to look in the mirror for the change you want to see and love your journey. Peace, peace.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Say.
It's the Oracle Empress P. I hope everybody enjoyed our show for today. Definitely like, follow, share, subscribe. We definitely would like you guys to add on and engage within and throughout the tribe as we go on to more different criteria and different perspectives on life and just on our spiritual journey. I want each and every one of you to have a great week on purpose with purpose. Stay present, patient, and positive, and stay true to who you are always. Peace.
Ashe. This is Michael Jordan, aka the Serious Alchemist, signing out. Appreciate the tribe. Like I say, I always vibe the highest when I'm vibing with the tribe. So I appreciate them, I love them, and I respect them. Thank everybody for tuning in, listening. Like the Queen said, like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? The more y'all like and share, the more people we can reach. So with that being said, whatever you're going through, look inside yourself for the power to overcome it, and you will succeed. With that being said, peace and love to everyone. Ashe.
Ashe. And one more thing, family, before y'all go, just wanted y'all to know we will be doing live calls, I believe once a month, but we still getting that stuff together. So make sure y'all tapping in with us, because y'all gonna definitely want to call in with your questions, and we're gonna give you some answers and stuff like that. So with that said, we out of here, y'all.
All right. Peace, peace.
Peace, peace.
Peace.